now the start lineup for the team's opponent, Charleston Battery. Team captain number 4, Felipe Hernandez. In goal, number 1, Lindsey. Defender number 14, Freeman. Defender number 5, Felipe Hernandez. Defender number 21, Untitled Chapter. Midfielder number 19, Untitled Chapter. Midfielder number 12, Swope. Midfielder number 22, forward number 8, forward number 25, forward number 9, Charleston is coached by Michael. And now, let's start the big starting lineup for your home team, the Swope Rangers. Team captain, Felipe Hernandez. Midfield, number 18, Defender, number 26, Lindsey. Number 48, Defender number 33, Defender number 92, Midfielder number 98, Midfielder number 75,
Fresh off a gutsy win with 10 men against Indy 11, Charleston Battery trying to get into the playoff positions, and they're here in Kansas City to take on a youthful and talented Swope Park Rangers side. It's the Swope Park Rangers versus Charleston Battery. Next. The beautiful Children's Mercy Park is the site for tonight's USL Eastern Conference matchup between the Swope Park Rangers and the Charleston Battery. Good evening and thank you for joining us. Joined with extreme pleasure by Sam Cobbs, and I am Carter Augustine. And Sam, back in the booth for what should be a really entertaining encounter here today.
A very compelling game in our hands, Carter, and I'm delighted to be back in the booth with you to call this one. Charleston Battery could leap into playoff position with a win tonight under veteran head coach Mike Anhauser, while SPR will embrace that spoiler role and aim to bounce back into the victory column here at home.
And if Charleston Battery want to continue this hot run of form after a 10-man victory over Indy 11, they might lean on this guy, Romario Pickett.
Certainly so. Pickett was the difference maker on Sunday when he scored the lone goal in Charleston's big win at home over Indy 11. Also scored in the reverse fixture against SPR back in June, so he enters the night high on confidence. He also ranks second on the team in chances created as well, so he'll certainly be one for us to keep our eyes on.
Meanwhile, for the home side, the Swope Park Rangers, their main man all season long has been Felipe Hernandez, and he's coming off a career milestone this past weekend.
Well, he's been nothing short of inspirational for SPR this season. 8 goals up on the year, including a a batch of absolute stunners, and he's earned every penny of his endless contract with Sporting Kansas City, as you alluded to, Carter. And now tonight, Hernandez returning to SPR on loan, where he will aim to continue what has been an awesome season in the midfield.
Who joins these two attacking stalwarts in their respective lineups? We'll have that and kick when we come back. SPR getting ready to take on Charleston Battery. Welcome back to Children's Mercy Park, as the Swope Park Rangers are getting set to host Charleston Battery in this Eastern Conference encounter. Let's take a look at the starting lineup, starting with the visitors. 11th place Charleston Battery. They can jump Birmingham and St. Louis into 9th with a win this evening, and there's only one change for head coach Mike Anhauser. It's a forced change, as Kyle Nelson is out suspended, and he is replaced by Brian Anunga.
I think something that stands out to me, Carter, plenty to like about this veteran backline, especially Jared Van Schaik, club legend, and Captain Taylor Mueller anchoring the backline.
Meanwhile, for the home side, the Swope Park Rangers, 5 changes from their 4-2 loss at Memphis last Saturday, and they're all SKC players on loan, but this is a very youthful-looking side for the Rangers here this evening.
Well, how about this? The average age of the starting 11 tonight, exactly 20 years old for SPR. You look at the front 3, an average of 17 years old. So Pello Nagamura giving starts to 7 Sporting KC Academy products tonight, 5 of whom are under the age of 20 years old.
Well, just about ready to start here in Kansas City, Kansas, on a beautiful summer night. Swope Park Rangers start with the ball going from right to left. And before the game, we had a moment of silence to remind everyone and remember 18 years ago today, 2,977 people lost their lives in the September 11th attacks. Just a reminder that freedom comes with a cost, and how very lucky we are to be a part of a game that we love, as these two teams in the Eastern Conference play on September 11th here today.
And also a sobering reminder that there are so many things around us bigger than sports. And at the end of the day, sports does oftentimes give us an escape, an excellent outlet for us to enjoy ourselves 2 hours on a Wednesday night, Carter.
Certainly that. It's an early corner for the Swope Park Rangers. There's a look at USL Hall of Famer Mike Anhauser in his 15th year at the helm of Charleston Battery. Trying to get them up in the playoff places with this, their game in hand over Birmingham and St. Louis. They've got a corner to defend here in the early stages. Some enterprising play by Felipe Hernandez won the Rangers this corner kick. It's Kuzane and Hernandez huddled over by the corner to take this one. Left-footed corner in towards the 6. It's headed clear of the box. There's a lovely first touch. Tucker Lepley gets it over to Alak. Now Alexander, he's got a nice left foot. Curling delivery, oh, just flashes wide of the post. So close for Wilson Harris.
A golden opportunity early on for the hosts. Tucker Lepley keeps it alive. It's Alexander who whips in the cross. And Wilson Harris, who has 5 goals to his name this season, will be wishing he had number 6 there, and he probably should have.
What a golden opportunity for a dream start for the Swope Park Rangers. Currently on a 7-game losing streak. Trying to snap that with this youthful side here on display this evening, and a great start to the game for Paulo Nagamura and crew.
Nagamura will be disappointed that header did not find the back of the net, but certainly got to be encouraged by that opening sequence there, especially with Tucker Lepley, the young 17-year-old, in just his 3rd USL Championship appearance, spreading that ball out wide to Alexander, who for my money has probably been one of SPR's most consistent players this season.
Charleston now with spell of possession after that foul, and it's well read by Hernandez again, causing problems with the press. Hernandez still going, edge of the area, just loses out to a couple of challenges by the Charleston back line. Here's a good first touch now, and driving forward is Anunga. Over to the left-hand side. Numbers in the box for Charleston. Curling delivery, Renico Clark is there to meet the cross from Dante Marini, and it's out for a throw.
A bit of a breathless start to this one, Carter. And we saw just a short while ago what Felipe Hernandez has made his money on and cut his teeth on all season long. That midfield pressure that he brings, putting opponents under pressure, nothing easy. We talk about the 8 goals he scored this season, but just as much on the opposite side of the ball and being an absolute war hawk in the midfield for Paulo Nagamura.
There he is wearing the captain's armband for the Swope Park Rangers, Felipe Hernandez. We talked about it in pregame. Managed to secure an MLS deal with Sporting Kansas City thanks to his exploits with the Swope Park Rangers this season. Becoming a homegrown signing for Sporting Kansas City.
Despite the relatively slight frame, he's got an absolute motor on him. He just does not stop over the course of 90 minutes. Interesting story, when Felipe Hernandez first joined the Sporting KC Academy, he oftentimes likened himself to Benny Feilhaber, more of a number 10, a creative, attacking midfielder who now plies his trade, of course, for Sporting Kansas City. But in the years since, Hernandez has been the first to say he likens himself more now to Roger Espinoza, more of the box-to-box bulldog there in the center of the park. I think Hernandez has certainly exemplified a lot of those qualities this season.
A lot of similarities between he and his head coach as well, Paulo Nagamura. Fantastic bulldog midfielder, long storied career in MLS. And Felipe Hernandez shared some stories of having to go toe-to-toe in his early days in the SKC Academy against the still playing Nagamura. Here's a foul, and quickly restarted by the Rangers. And Lepley with a clever little hesitation move, and he draws another foul. Just back to Hernandez. Said it was a good initiation to get yelled at by Paulo Nagamura as a player. Let's take a look at this. Nice move by Lepley to draw the foul. He got yelled at as a player, Paulo Nagamura, and now he gets yelled at as the coach, Paulo Nagamura. But a wonderful journey for Felipe Hernandez, and he himself has said He's got a long way yet to go. He did make his MLS debut for Sporting Kansas City at the Portland Timbers this past weekend. There's another young homegrown player for Sporting Kansas City with the Rangers. Freeman cutting in from the left. He gives it to Hernandez. Now Lepley. Hernandez. Get that crossfield well read in the end by Angelo Kelly. Now Alexander comes over to see this one out of play.
Carter, I'm so intrigued to see how SPR's wingers fare tonight. Tyler Freeman, 16 years old, Sporting KC homegrown player. Tucker Lepley, 17 years old, Sporting KC Academy product. How they do against this very experienced back line for Charleston. And this is a Battery team that doesn't allow much more than a goal per game. They don't give away much easily.
Good stick there by Cousin, and he's giving it away to Freeman. Edge of the box, Freeman trying to curl that. It's an easy save in the end for Joe Kuzminski. Coming off a fantastic performance, Kuzminski, in that 10-man victory against Indy 11 here. He's got an easy save off the boot of Freeman.
Some good positive play here from Freeman as he cuts centrally onto his right boot, but again, that's never gonna challenge Kuzminski, who enters tonight in a good run of form. 5 shutouts on the season, one of which coming Sunday. As you said, he was fantastic in that huge result against what has been an excellent Indy 11 side. So a very impressive result on Sunday for Charleston, and one that has certainly boosted their playoff hopes.
4th place Indy 11 side, and played over half an hour with 10 men. Charleston in that game saw out the 1-0 victory, thanks to, in part, 6 saves by Joe Kuzminski, who landed on the USL Team of the Week for his efforts. Lepley's looked bright early on, but that pass can't connect with Hernandez. And here come the visitors. Anunga inside for Kotaro Higashi. Now it's wide right. Angelo Kelly.
I think one of the things you probably have to like about this Charleston side is that while they may not have that one individual magic man, that talisman pulling the strings from the attacking midfield, or a lethal sniper up top, they do balance the scoring load. Svantessen with 4, Dante Marini with 4. He's out wide left of the midfield. Anunga there has had a goal himself, so this is a team where goals can come from just about anywhere on the pitch. You even look at Jared Van Schaik, 3 goals from defense.
Very balanced scoring attack for this Charleston Battery side. Good job by Kave Rad to read the situation, and he plays it left with Alexander. Forward, there's the captain for Charleston stepping in the path of that one. Good battle on the near side between Alexander and Svantessen. Another thing to keep an eye out on, Sam Kovzin, is these two teams met already. A 1-1 game back on June 22nd in Charleston, a game that was delayed significantly by weather, and a game that had some extracurriculars as well. You wonder if maybe some hard feelings will spill over into this match.
You certainly do, and I think we can say that game was steamy in more ways than one. Delayed 75 minutes, a 1-1 draw in which Hernandez and Ian Svantessen, Romario Piggott found the back of the net. Ian Svantessen, along with SPR goalkeeper Adrian Zendejas, getting sent off in second half stoppage time. Certainly plenty of entertainment in that one. Wonder if we see similar fireworks tonight.
That was the first ever meeting between these two clubs, and as you mentioned, some fireworks in that one. We'll see any of that comes here this evening. Here's a good bit of attacking play by the Rangers. Hernandez, a little shift of the feet over to the right side now. Back with Tucker Lepley. Cousin, advanced position. Lepley cutting in field. Alak. Harris will give chase, which means Kuzminski just dumps this one back for Reniko Clark. Clark is making his 3rd consecutive start for the Swope Park Rangers after being signed on July 30th. Just his 4th appearance. There he is, the 6'4", 195-pound center back from Kingston, Jamaica. He's an imposing figure on the field with that 6'4" frame, Renico Clark. He's partnered with Kave Rad here again this evening. Back heel from Alexander, looking for Freeman, and there's the captain, Taylor Mueller, coming over to clear.
And at 24 years of age, Renico Clark tied for the oldest player on the field right now in a Rangers uniform alongside goalkeeper Eric Dick. Pretty remarkable when you look at a squad up and down, and the 24-year-old stands out as the oldest of the bunch, but such is the case here. And I think that Renico Clark's signing has been good for SPR, in that he gives the team something that quite frankly it just does not have, and that professional experience. Renico Clark coming up through the MLS ranks with Portland Timbers. Never quite latched on there, but he is someone who provides a certain physicality, tactical new maturity in central defense.
Well, 46 appearances for Portland Timbers 2. Played a little bit in Iceland and was most recently with Harborview back in Jamaica. Here he is sliding it in for Freeman. Finds Rad. There's Jalen Lindsey. Looking for the run of Hernandez, and even the speed of Hernandez won't be able to catch up to that one. Drifts out of play for a goal kick. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Just about 13 minutes gone on the clock here in the first half. Still scoreless between the Swope Park Rangers and the Charleston Battery. Tough one for Kuzan to take off the thigh, and it's play on, says the referee. But Rad comes over to assert himself and clear the danger for the Swope Park Rangers. Looked like the Battery might be in there.
Kave Rad, certainly a player who has improved over the course of the season, making his 16th appearance tonight, his 14th start in the heart of that defense. SPR have had a hard time keeping the ball out of the back of the net in recent weeks. They've actually conceded multiple goals in 9 straight fixtures, something they will obviously want to fix this time around. I think, Carter, looking at the run of results, something that stands out to me about Charleston is the fact that they haven't quite been able to completely catch fire this season. I think it's one of the reasons why they are just below the playoff line at the moment. They have put together consecutive wins just once this season, back in April. They have the opportunity to do that again here tonight, having won on Sunday, of course.
There's Svantesson battling with Clark. Well, they haven't been able to string together consecutive victories. They haven't really had too many consecutive losses as well. They've been very difficult to beat this season, Charleston Battery.
That's right, 7 losses in 25 games played. I think it's a testament to how well organized Mike Anheuser has his team set up. And guys, we could talk at length about what Mike Anheuser has done at this club. An absolute legend for Charleston Battery. He's been with the team either as a player, an assistant coach, or now obviously a head coach since 1994. He's one of the longest tenured managers in professional soccer across the globe, looking for his 175th USL win tonight.
Good ball out to the left-hand side. And Anunga in some space. Now he'll cut inside. It's a decent-looking low cross that's hooked away by Clark. The Battery starting to get on the front foot a little bit here. 15 minutes gone.
Big intervention there from Clark. Romario Piggott was lurking there at the far post. Good ball whipped in by Anunga.
There's another great ball and some space on the left-hand side. 1-2 on the edge of the area. Ball still free, and Rad just dumps that into the right channel where Wilson Harris will try to get there, but it's mopped up nicely and delivered back to the goalkeeper by Dante Marini. And there's a 3rd consecutive crossfield diagonal. This one, Lindsey had plenty of time to get on the end of it and head it clear off the boot of Taylor Mueller. We've seen him, the captain, wearing a face mask here this evening, and seen him try that crossfield diagonal a few times now. He's got that in his bag for sure. Just talked about the coach, Mike Anhauser, a legend, so too their captain. And this one's in behind now for Charleston Battery. In on goal, Eric Dick. Sliding stop. Kotaro Higashi must have thought he was going to score there.
He must have, but the finish needed to be better. It's straight into the midsection of Eric Dick. And thankfully so for SPR, who dodged a big bullet there.
Alexander looking in behind for Harris, and well defended by Kelly. So the Battery will try and build from the back again. Well, that's now a chance, a great chance for each of these two teams in the opening 17 minutes or so. But we're still scoreless. Wilson Harris flashing wide from the header inside 2 minutes. And just moments ago, Eric Dick with a huge save. Let's keep this thing level. There's good backtracking and a round of applause from the SPR bench for the work there from Tyler Freeman.
It's exactly what the SPR coaching staff is wanting to see more of from Tyler Freeman. You cannot question his quality on the ball, his quality going forward, that young 16-year-old. There's a reason Sporting Kansas City signed him as a homegrown player last October, but for Tyler Freeman right now, it's all about development on both sides of the ball, when your team has it, when your team doesn't have it. And tracking back like that as a left winger is something that is a big staple for wingers in the Sporting KC system, and good stuff there from Freeman.
This play pass from Alexander, and it's into the feet of Ta Brian Anunga, who has been all over the pitch here. The one change in the starting lineup from that 1-0 victory over Indy 11, and due to the suspension of Kyle Nelson, who was sent off with 2 yellow cards in that game. Anunga into midfield, which slides Angelo Kelly back to right back. He started this game well, Anunga. Back now, Renico Clark over to Kave Rad. Now Alexander running behind there. Swope Park Rangers in 18th place in the Eastern Conference on that 7-game losing streak. Their last win was a 4-3 win here against Hartford on July 17th. They'll be looking to get their first point since that match against Hartford. Good high pressure there from the Rangers. So they're able to force an errant pass.
When you look at the recent run of results, obviously the wins have not been there for SPR, but lots to feel good about in terms of so many of these young players improving over the course of the season, and especially when you're Holland Nagamura and you're working with 17, 18, 19-year-olds. While these games may not always translate into 3 points, you really have to feel good about the fact that they're taking huge steps forward against older, more mature competition. It's only going to help their development in the long run.
The likes of Wilson Harris, who scored in that game against Memphis. Talked a little bit about Kave Rad, who really came on in the middle part of the season here. Made his pro debut the 8th game of the season, and ever since then he's been almost an ever-present for this Rangers back line. Bouncing ball in midfield. And a nice turn there in midfield. Man, we highlighted in pregame Romario Piggott able to slide away from Juan Cousin.
We get a good look there at Juan Cousin, who, lest we forget, Carter, played 5 matches last season for Sporting Kansas City, 5 MLS matches. There's a point in time last summer where Sporting were stretched a bit on the injury front. Cousin came in, helped bolster the midfield, and Jalen Lindsey, Swope Park Rangers right back tonight. 10 appearances last season for Sporting Kansas City. Would have probably had even more this season, you'd think. Suffered a very unfortunate knee injury way back in March when the season was just getting started. Did not come back into action until last month. Jalen Lindsey right up there with Serginho Dest and a few others, among the brightest right back prospects in the American player pool.
Such a shame that injury is just behind the outstretched boot of Angelo Kelly. It would be a Rangers throw. Such a shame the injury for Lindsey. Was almost going to be a shoo-in for the World Cup for the U.S. youth squad, U20s.
And I really do think, Carter, when you look at the way Sporting Kansas City's season has played out with them really needing to win at least 4 of their final 5 matches to make the MLS Cup playoffs, I think Lindsey would have had a legitimate role this season in helping a backline that has been up and down this season.
Some space on the right, calling for it, but Hernandez and Cousin exchanging passes. Now they'll come left for Alexander. Alexander now cutting infield, and he'll drop it back with Clark. Playing a team from South Carolina, but there is a bit of a North Carolina connection with Swope Park Rangers and Sporting KC. More on that in a second, as here's a wonderful diagonal. Freeman cutting into the box, a step over, trying to get past his defender. Freeman still alive, in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's out for a corner kick.
Terrific stuff here from Tyler Freeman, looking very confident on the ball as he squares up the defender, Angelo Kelly. Keeps the ball on his right peg there. And it's cut out well by Mueller.
Angelo, here!
I believe the goalkeeper is wanting Angelo Kelly to do something. Barking out orders there, you can hear Kuzminski. Here's a corner towards the edge of the 6. Good diving clearance there, under some sort of pressure as well. That was a wonderful bit of play by Vincenzo Candela. There's a poor giveaway, and now perhaps the Battery can streak forward with numbers. Wide right, Piggott for Anunga. And now Angelo Kelly. Well tackled though, Alexander. He read the situation, saw Higashi trying to exploit the space, and now the Rangers try and go forward, but the pass just a little too heavy for the outstretched boot of Wilson Harris.
Freeman does really well there to skip past Anunga. Bit of a nutmeg, but I want to see just a bit more poise there as he breaks into the attacking half of the field. Well, he could have kept the ball at his feet just a bit longer before making a decision whether to spread it spread it left, or to keep moving centrally.
Alec picks up the change after the tackle by Alexander. Back to that North Carolina connection. Here's 2 on the right side of the defense for the Rangers. Kave Rad from Durham, Jalen Lindsey from Charlotte. Tucker Lepley is from Charlotte as well. Had a pretty good pipeline over to the Sporting KC Academy from the Carolinas.
Come on.
There's pressure high up the pitch again, forcing a throw for the Rangers.
And you got to back into him when he reaches with his foot. You got to back into him.
Well, both teams searching for the first goal here, and it's been really important for both of these teams. There's some argument over who got the last touch there, and our referee Brad Jensen says it's off Tyler Freeman. It'll be a goal kick for the visitors. Well, it often seems like common sense that the first goal is very important. But for these two teams especially, Swope Park Rangers, all 3 of their wins have come from scoring first. Meanwhile, Charleston Battery have yet to have a win from conceding first, although they do have 4 draws in those 8 games where they conceded first, which is an impressive record on its own.
Speaks to the fight in this squad, top to bottom. Again, tough to beat. When you've only lost 7 of your 25 league games, there's something to that, and I think Anheuser's team has a certain DNA that they will not go down lightly. but I couldn't agree more. I think the first goal tonight is absolutely massive. SPR scored first in all 3 of their wins. Just 3 points in the 17 matches in which they have conceded the first goal. Yet to secure a comeback win this season.
This one's off Hernandez out of play. Maybe that speaks to the youth that Swope Park Rangers have played with this season, and we continue to watch these players grow and learn from their experiences on the pitch.
I think such an important piece of that is how you react to that adversity, whether it's long-term, maybe you're struggling to get minutes with the first team, or whether it's in a quick instance when you fall behind early in a match. It's all about how you respond, and I think it's a big factor that Paulo Nagamura assesses when he looks at all these players coming through. The way this game has played out so far, Carter, you get the feeling SPR will have certainly lion's share of possession. And I just wonder if a decisive moment may come with either SPR breaking through into the attacking third through their possessional buildup, or if Charleston is able to force a midfield turnover and spring it into a counter.
Well read there by Alak as he picked out the run of Lindsey, but just couldn't quite execute the pass. Good idea from the center defensive mid, and he actually raises his hand in apology there in the center of the screen to Jalen Lindsey, because it was a wonderful run from the right back, but that man, Kuzminski, was alert to the danger. Freeman now, left-hand side. Cutting infield. Now there'll be an overlap in a number situation here. Lepley instead come inside. Alak lines it up from distance, and always curling the wrong way away from Joe Kuzminski's goal.
A speculative effort there, always going wide, but I really like the build-up there from SPR prior to that shot. Firing off the left peg of Alak. Ball switched sides of the field twice there. Lepley and Freeman in particular looking sharp in possession.
Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce that the Championship and League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on ESPN family of networks. More on that in just a second as the Rangers have an attack. Curling in from Alexander. It's still alive, Hernandez. Oh, he clattered that one, and it smashes off the near post and out of play.
Felipe Hernandez smashes the daylights out of this ball right here, takes it out of the air. Such a clean strike off his right laces. Goalpost still rattling there. Almost his 9th of the season in an SPR uniform.
So close to opening the scoring there, Felipe Hernandez, but still remain 0-0 between these two teams, who have had a couple of good chances in this first half. There's a good double team from the battery to take it over under the feet of Hernandez. Harris looked like he had a nice post up, but he was outmatched by the veteran experience of Taylor Mueller there. Pick it now back with Anunga.
You mentioned just a moment ago before Hernandez went close to scoring, USL Championship extending its deal with ESPN through 2022. I was delighted by that announcement for numerous reasons, one of which being that it raises the distinct possibility I've got 3 more seasons in the booth with you, Carter August.
Here come the battery, left side of the box, and that was well claimed by Eric Dick there, although it looked like it may cause him some trouble at his near post.
Dick was advanced just a little bit off of his line there, but sure-handed, to say the least.
Eric Dick in his 7th start for the Swope Park Rangers this season. So trying to get his first win with the Rangers this year. But 32 saves in those 6 games for Eric Dick. Pretty impressive number for the netminder for the Rangers here this evening. Here he is, getting the ball delivered back to him from Alexander. Brazilian left back, cutting infield, just recently turned 21, Alexander. And he leads this Swope Park Rangers team in minutes played this season. The only player with over 2,000 minutes, Alexander. Here he is cleverly turning under pressure from Anunga.
And Alexander, he's starred from that left back position this year, but I think he's a guy who could play even on the left wing or as an advanced midfielder. There's so much creativity to his game, so much technical skill. That Brazilian upbringing obviously doing some wonders here as there's a turnover.
One of those really magical left-footed players that you could just put his position as left, perhaps.
Precisely.
Left side of the field, and use his pace and his wand of a left foot, Alexander.
If anyone has seen Jimmy Madronda play for Sporting Kansas City, similar players there. I think Alexander brings a similar flair to his game. Very left-footed. Very creative.
Some decent build-up from the battery on the left-hand side. A tackle from Kuzain gets applause from his head coach, and then Tucker Lepley finishing the job, playing this one out of bounds. Over a half an hour gone here. Still scoreless as Charleston Battery trying to leapfrog 2 teams into the playoff positions here in the late stages of this USL Championship season. With the win this evening, they will move up into 9th place. Jump Birmingham Legion and St. Louis FC.
Birmingham and St. Louis coincidentally squaring off Friday night against one another. Massive, massive fixture there in the East. Charleston with an interesting backlog of fixtures here has had 2 or 3 games rearranged either due to weather issues or travel complications. This game obviously originally slated for July 27th.
Some travel problems as Charleston Battery were trying to get to the stadium back on July 27th. And glad to hear that no one was seriously injured in those travel issues for the visitors. Rescheduled the game here to this evening.
With teams on the edge of that playoff line, I always like to look at their final few fixtures, and I look at Charleston's and the way they set up their final 3 matches, all at home. Another wrinkle, though, the fact that they come in a 7-day stretch, October 13th, 16th, and 19th, all at home to end the season. Some home cooking that could prove decisive in their bid for another playoff berth. Anheuser already with a pair of league titles in 2010-2012. I think right now they'd probably be happy to get in.
Hernandez sensing the run of Jalen Lindsey there, tried to pop it over, but well defended by Jared Van Schaik. Rad asking a lot of Hernandez there, and he just can't quite get onto it. Kuzain with a foul, but it's play on, says the referee. He's giving advantage to the Battery. Left-hand side with Marini. Trying to go one-on-one with Jalen Lindsey. Marini looking for some space for a cross, and Lindsey has smothered him on the right-hand side of the Rangers defense.
And Jalen Lindsey has made that look fairly straightforward, but there was nothing straightforward about it. Dante Marini, a very good player in his own right, but we're going to see here Jalen Lindsey locking him down expertly. As the two go head-to-head there, and Lindsey with him every step of the way. Well done there along the end line.
And Wilson Harris was able to win his side of throw and ease some pressure. So here come the Rangers in attack. And that man, Jalen Lindsey, trying to exchange passes with Harris. It's given away. Back now with the Charleston Battery. The goalkeeper, Joe Kuzminski, hoofs this one up towards Ian Van Tessen, but well defended in the end by Kave Rad. Tune in to ESPN 3 on September 18th at 7 p.m. Central Time for a potential Eastern Conference playoff preview when one of the league's top defenses, St. Louis FC, welcomes high-powered New York Red Bulls 2 to the Lou. See it all September 18th at 7 p.m. Central during Wednesday Night Soccer on ESPN 3.
Wednesday Night Soccer tonight on ESPN. Las Vegas Lights going up against Phoenix Rising FC, Carter, who have probably put together maybe the most impressive streak I've ever seen in American soccer with 18 straight league wins. Like, you got to be kidding me about something like that. An absolutely remarkable achievement there for Phoenix Rising, and running away with the league regular season title for most points. Such an impressive side.
What a run Phoenix Rising have been on, and their coach Rick Shantz named August Coach of the Month for obvious reasons. One of the most impressive seasons in American soccer history, you would have to say, from Phoenix Rising. They have been absolutely dominant.
They haven't dropped a point since May.
It's unbelievable. What a game we have this evening in the Western Conference. Got a good game on our hands here as well. As Alak striding infield. Tried one with his left foot. This one he tries with the right foot. Same result, just wide to the right of Joe Kuzminski's goal.
Just about 7 minutes left in the first half here. Charleston Battery, just the one shot, and it came off of that fairly innocuous ball over the top that caught Kave Rad maybe just a bit off guard. But Eric Dick with that huge one-on-one save against Kataro Higashi to keep us scoreless.
Yeah, other than that, it's been a pretty tidy display so far from the Swope Park Rangers back line, which, as you mentioned, has had its struggles defensively recently. This one flicked on by Van Tessen. He's looking a frustrated figure there up top for Charleston Battery.
He's yet to really make an imprint on this game, Ian Van Tessen. Not the fleetest of foot, but always someone who's able to latch on to the end of a cross, provide physicality up top, that target man.
6'6", 180.
Yeah.
Van Tessen. Team high 11 goals for the Tulsa Roughnecks back in 2017, so you know he's got some scoring capabilities. Here's a tackle into the back of Candela by Hernandez. It's a foul. Candela taking some exception to that play. He'll start things quickly for the Battery. Vincenzo Candela, he's got a wealth of experience despite being just 24 years old. Moved to USA from his native Colombia at age 3 and went to play in Europe when he was 16 years old. Candela played in Portugal, Germany, Belgium. Went back to his native Colombia for landing with the Charleston Battery.
Probably the most well-traveled player on the pitch right now, Candela. And you alluded to those many European stops he has made despite his relatively young age at just 24. This just might be a landing spot for him. 19 starts this year, 20 tonight. Been a solid, consistent performer for the Battery.
His 25th birthday later this month. Candela, what a life he has had, what life experiences you have to wonder Vincenzo Candela has had over his youthful 24 years. Portugal, Germany, Belgium, Colombia. We set out as a professional at age 16, which is what a couple of these Swope Park Ranger players are just starting their journey on. Likes of Jalen Lindsey and Tyler Freeman signed as youngsters. Here's Freeman trying to defend on Kelly. Quickly laid off by Piggott. Now he'll get it back. Alak clattering into the back of him. No foul, says the referee. Here comes Harris. Freeman with some space on the left. Trying to touch it around the defender there, Mueller. The captain reading that situation well yet again, as Romario Piggott still feeling the effects of that challenge back inside the Rangers defensive half. So SPR will play this out of bounds and allow for some attention to Romario Piggott. Signed just at the end of last year, Romario Piggott, and has really come on strong for Charleston Battery this season. Coming through and see a community college in Plymouth, Indiana, to the Myrtle Beach Mutiny. And his impressive play with the Mutiny, landing him a gig here with the Battery. He's been fantastic this season, so this is a worry for head coach Mike Anhauser.
Yeah, he's made the most of his opportunity. Certainly an uphill trek into the USL Championship for Piggott. Nothing has come easy for him. Made a stop at Coastal Carolina with the Chanticleers at the NCAA Division I level as well.
It's not a nice word to say around these parts. Sam Cobbs in just 45 minutes from Lawrence, Kansas, which had an encounter with Coastal Carolina, as you, a KU grad, may have a little familiarity with.
I wish I did. I've already put it out of my memory, unfortunately.
Coastal Carolina with a big-time football victory over KU Jayhawks.
As did the Colorado Buffaloes on Saturday, coming back from 17 down in the third quarter to defeat the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Your alumni, I believe, Carter Augustine. We digress.
That was a cruel insertion, as that had no connection to this game whatsoever. We're back underway here. Coastal Carolina aside. Hopefully, Coastal Carolina alum Romario Piggott can continue on in this game for the visitors. There's a couple of hard challenges from Anunga, excuse me.
It's a heck of a challenge there from Anunga.
Distance, Hernandez, that one will go harmlessly wide again of the right-hand post for Joe Kuzminski.
Well, Carter, we talked about the fact that these two teams got into a very, very chippy affair last time out. I think referee Brad Jensen has done a good job tonight thus far. Of course, tempers haven't quite flared or anything. There haven't been any flashbulb moments on the field that have really tested his ability to control the game, but I think thus far it's been a well-played affair for all intents and purposes.
Now Clark just being called for getting into the back there of Svantesson, so it'll be a free kick right around the center circle. Quickly set, quickly taken by Anunga. Well dealt with on the left-hand side by Van Schaik. Here he is again. Left-footed cross towards the penalty spot. Alexander gets a touch to it. We're now into 1 minute of added time here in the first half. Will there be another chance for one of these two teams to take a halftime lead? It's Charleston Battery with the ball and all of their players inside the opposing half. There it's lost in possession. Hernandez closing things down for the Rangers. A good job by the visitors, able to get back in position and defend what could have been a counter-attacking opportunity for the home side. Kelly heads this one high to the sky. Good step there by Alak. He's won it back for the Rangers, and now Lepley trying to get on the front foot. playing it in behind for Hernandez. He's got a long way to go, and that's well marshaled there by Leland Archer. That'll be the last act of the first half. Sam Cobson, what did you make of the scoreless first half here between Charleston Battery and the Swope Park Rangers?
Well, Charleston Battery ahead of SPR in the Eastern Conference table, but I think it will be SPR who'll be a bit disappointed not to be ahead here after the first 45 minutes. A few good looks that they carved out, especially Wilson Harris heading marginally wide very early. Charleston with a fleeting opportunity of their own. It sets up for a very intriguing final 45 minutes, I do believe. 3 points still up for grabs for anyone here in Kansas City, Kansas. The Swope Park Rangers and Charleston Battery tied at 0 at the half. Stick with us as we're back for all the halftime stats and analysis. Full moon here in Kansas City, Kansas. And 0-0 the score. Will we see some full moon antics in the second half? It's been a good first half of action between the Swope Park Rangers and Charleston Battery, featuring Felipe Hernandez wearing the captain's armband for the home side. Felipe Hernandez recently signed an MLS deal with Sporting Kansas City. We had all the access with young Felipe Hernandez.
I'm really excited. It's something I've been working for quite a bit. When I got here, I was really nervous. I was just a 15-year-old kid and living without my parents, but I knew what I wanted. I had a mindset. Fortunately, I'm here, but I'm not satisfied. I want more. The sacrifice that we went through, me leaving as a kid, what I wanted when I left, I've achieved it. I'm telling you guys, I'm not satisfied. I want more, I always want more. It's exciting. It took a while. I started out with Academy and was there for a few years, then with the Rangers for 3 years. It was a long process, but everyone goes through a process. I'm glad I'm here now. I've figured out how I am as a player, who I really am as a player, what my abilities are. I used to think I was kind of like Benny Phil Albert kind of player, but I've come to realize I'm more of a Roger kind of player, more physical, more of a pit bull in the midfield, and try to score, give assists, do whatever. Yeah, I've learned a lot about myself as a person and as a player. My mentality, my work rate, like Peter says, something that he likes. And it's just kind of something I have in me. It doesn't matter what your situation is. It doesn't matter if we're winning by 5 goals or we're losing by 5 goals. I'm gonna work hard, whatever minute it's in. I'm just gonna give whatever I have.
Sam DaCosta. The attempt at an amazing goal! Or maybe a goal of the year candidate from Rodrigo DaCosta.
This side as well.
That's a good point. Let's wait and see if they do.
As Kamara absolutely flies past Tete for pace. Here's Kamara! And a brilliant save from Cody Mizell. Mohamed Kamara is causing problems.
Mikey Rowe now. Rowe takes it on and it's in! What a strike! And Tormenta, they strike first! Ontivero. Silva will have a hit! Oh, good save by Majimadu.
Hilton goes charging through, has to go! And what a strike it is from...
Oh, that's sensational! Oh, what a strike! Kadima! Saved by Bettleson! Big Armin lets it fly, more on the save.
0-0 here as the Swope Park Rangers are hosting Charleston Battery in USL Eastern Conference action. Let's take a look at the standings in the USL Eastern Conference. As, of course, the Swope Park Rangers find themselves propping up the Eastern Conference down there in 18th place. Meanwhile, Charleston Battery trying to find their way up into the playoff positions.
Yeah, and you can see just how important this game is for Charleston. And Swope Park Rangers hoping to get back into the win column after a tough stretch of losses here over the last few weeks.
Charleston Battery could be in 9th place if they can get a win here after this game with the Swope Park Rangers. Take a look at the first half stats between these two teams. As you guessed it, Sam Cosman, it's been mostly Rangers in possession and in the chances created.
I think Paulo Nagamura will be delighted by the fact that his team has only faced one shot. And I think when SPR is able to possess the ball that cleanly, not give it away in their own half, it's going to be very hard for their opponents to get off those shot attempts. And that's really how the first 45 minutes unfolded.
Taking a look at the duels won, just about 50-50 for both teams in that particular stat category as well. Well, now let's look around the league as, first we've got the upcoming schedule for the Swope Park Rangers. The home games remaining left on the 2019 USL schedule and 3 fun ones left for the Swope Park Rangers.
3 teams who have their sights set on the postseason and making a run at the USL Cup. And Ottawa Fury obviously will give SPR a reunion with their former head coach Nikola Popovic here in Kansas City.
Now let's take a look around the league. I was excited to get to this one, Sam, because there is a lot going on in the USL Championship. They are revealing jerseys highlighting the local culture. They've already revealed 10 of the jerseys so far, including the Charleston Battery, who have a fun one on display. These are some really cool jerseys from around the league. Go to uslchampionship.com and check out the culture collection.
Yeah, if you're a visual guy, which I very much am, and you're really into the kits, well worth a look. The USL Championship will do jerseys for 20 clubs, so we've got 10 more to look forward to. I think those are fantastic, and then we see Phoenix Rising behind their head coach Rick Shands, just absolutely lighting the league up at the moment. 18 straight wins, fairly unprecedented. I'm not sure I've seen anything quite like it, Carter.
Yeah, Coach of the Month there for Rick Shands and Phoenix Rising FC. And while you're on uslchampionship.com to look at and then vote on the best of the Culture Collection jerseys, my vote so far is Fresno. I love what they've got going on. Make sure you take a look at Joe Greenspan's letter talking about what made him join the Naval Academy and and it's got a lot to do with the events 18 years ago today on September 11th. It really is a wonderful article by Joe Greenspan on USLChampionship.com. A lot going on in the USL Championship this week, and a lot going on in that first half despite the 0-0 score line. Will one of these teams find the breakthrough in the second half? We'll have second half kick from Kansas City coming up next. Still scoreless at the break here. Swope Park Rangers in the Charleston Battery. Not for a lack of opportunities for each side. Let's take a look at the first half highlights in this one. And the Rangers almost with a dream start.
Absolutely. Wilson Harris could have, maybe should have had his second goal in as many games as Alexander whips in a pinpoint cross, header inches wide.
And the high pressure has paid off for the Rangers in this first half as well, carving out a few chances like this one for Tyler Freeman.
Yeah, I thought Tyler Freeman had one of his better halves, and then this, the only real chance for Charleston is Eric Dick does very well to deny Kotaro Higashi.
One shot for Charleston Battery here in the first half, and it's smothered nicely by Eric Dick at his near post. Swope Park Rangers were on the front foot for most of that first half. You can still hear that one echoing off the frame of the goal as Felipe Hernandez got all of that. Just inches away from giving the Swope Park Rangers the lead. We still have a 0-0 scoreline here as we're about ready to start the second half.
I think for Charleston, a big key here in the second half is playing with a bit more urgency. Charleston is a team right now chasing the playoff spot. If you watch the first half of that game, you may not have known it. And I think if you're SPR, you've got to be largely pleased with the way the first 45 minutes played out and trying to continue more of that sustained build-up through the middle half of the field and into the attacking third, and then taking your chances when you get them. I think Charleston needs to be a bit more aggressive when they don't have the ball. Try to put SPR under pressure, create those turnovers so that they're able to spring quickly the other direction.
Both teams huddling up to try and go over the final instructions here in this second half. Charleston Battery again looking for back-to-back wins for just the second time this season, and what would lift them up into 9th place in the USL Championship Eastern Conference. Swope Park Rangers looking to snap a losing streak here with a lot of youth on display for the home side. As it has cooled considerably since the sun has gone down as well. A lovely evening here in Kansas City, and we are back underway from Children's Mercy Park, one of the cathedrals of American soccer, seeing its share of phenomenal goals over the years. Well, we have one to pick from here in the second half. as Charleston will start with the ball going from right to left in their white tops with black shorts. Swope Park Rangers currently defending the blue, the orange trim. Brad gets there ahead of Svantesson, but it pops free. Now towards the back post. Not too far away there from Romario Piggott. It will be able to be kept in play, and that was a wonderful bit of skill along the far side, but comes to nothing for Angelo Kelly and Charleston Battery.
Well, already within the first 60 seconds of the second half, we've seen a bit better action there from the visitors. Battery threatening with that cross from the left flank from Marini. We just did not see much of that at all. We did not see any sustained possession, any real threat from the Battery in the first half.
Oh, there's a chance just about created by Alexander, but now he's got some tracking back to do as away come Charleston Battery. Right-hand side, cutting in. Good first touch, but can't quite get it away from Felipe Hernandez. That was Candela. And the Rangers again will dribble this one out of defense. Swope Park Rangers 3-6-4 at home this season. The past 3 years, they have been so formidable in Kansas City. There's some full-blooded challenges going in there between players from both sides as the intensity has just ratcheted up a little bit here at the start of the second half. Svantesson one-on-one with Rad. Cutting into the area. Svantesson still alive, trying to squeeze this one past Eric Dick, and just about Eric Dick diving backwards to save that one right off the line.
Well, this is excellent work from Ian Svantesson, making an impact here in the second half right away as he beats Rad. His cutback nearly gets the better of Dick, but Dick recovering just in the nick of time there. He absolutely had to.
Puff of the cheeks there from Eric Dick as cross squibbled between his legs, but cat-like reflex is able to claw that one back off his own goal line. Still at 0-0 here. Lepley now inside for Kuzain, just slotting it in behind. Harris is in on goal. Wilson Harris, big time save, Kuzminski.
Well, what a start to the second half we've had here in Kansas City. Both teams very nearly opening the score. Ian Svantesson on one end, nearly catching Dick off guard, and then at the opposite end, Kuzminski with a big save to deny Wilson Harris.
Well, he's in the USL Team of the Week off that performance on Sunday. That was a big-time save for the man between the sticks for the Charleston Battery here this evening. What an opportunity carved out, but Juan Kuzain there for the Swope Park Rangers.
Yeah, it really was heads-up play there from Kuzain to slide that one through, and Tucker Lepley did well to find him with a pocket of space there, just outside the top of the box.
Some SKC Academy products combining on that attempt there. Lepley in for Kuzain, slotting it in behind for Wilson Harris. How about that footwork? Ayu Alak screaming for an option, and he's found one. Jalen Lindsey. Right-footed cross from Lindsey, just a little too close to the goalkeeper. An easy claim in the end for Kuzminski. Now we'll take a look at that big-time stop, which has kept us at 0-0 here in Kansas City.
An impudent through ball from Kuzain. Harris tries to get an angle there, but Kuzminski does really well not to go to ground a bit too early. Makes a big stop to keep this one scoreless.
Just outside the top 10 in the league in saves coming into this one, Kuzminski. He's got those 5 shutouts in his 3rd season with Charleston Battery. And he leads the team in minutes as well. He's been an ever-present in this side, Joe Kuzminski. Played every game but one for the Charleston Battery this season.
I would also fully endorse the mustache he has going right now. It's a formidable look between the posts.
Very strong, the mustache game. Now the Battery moving forward into attack and back with Van Schaik. Pops back to Leland Archer. Didn't say Leland Archer's name a whole lot in that first half, but that's not a bad thing when you're a center defender. He's been pretty calm presence there in the back for Charleston Battery this evening. He's helped maintain this attack for the Battery moving forward. Support touch from Marini. And Eric Dick has scythed this one out of play. It'll be a corner kick to defend for the Swope Park Rangers. Quickly, they have to reorganize. There's a nice turn in the box, and then cutting it along the edge of the 6 was Higashi. Still alive for the Battery, in towards the back post, just over the head of Archer. And Alexander will get there and smash this one up the field.
I think Paulo Nagamura will probably be a bit disappointed as to how that fleeting opportunity arose for Charleston. Eric Dick with the miss hit out of play, and instead of getting his team organized to defend the throw, he kind of walked back toward goal with his shoulders shrugged just a bit. Important there that you do not switch off. The margin for error is just too slim right now for this Ranger side if they want to get a result here. They played too well not to, for my money so far. Got to be able to switch it on for the entirety of all 90 minutes.
There, Angelo Kelly wins a foul along the far touchline. Wilson Harris sliding in, so it'll be a free kick for Charleston Battery. Still scoreless here at Children's Mercy Park. Left-footed delivery to come. Straight into the palms of Eric Dick. And his throw is off the back of a Charleston Battery player. It's Leland Archer who is running back to get in position. And that leads to this shot, which is wide from Romario Piggott. Well, he's a big lad, Leland Archer, 6'4".
He looked almost a bit surprised to have the ball at his feet that far up the field. So we see Dick's distribution just hits Archer in the back there.
I think he gets credit for an interception there, Leland Archer.
I think you have to give it to him, Opta.
And in the end, the chance goes begging. And what a turn that is. Lepley just using the defender's body to slide past him, but just not on the same wavelength as Felipe Hernandez. Can't connect the pass to the left-hand side to keep things going.
And while the final pass there was lacking, I really do like what I've seen from Lepley tonight. Hasn't shied away from a challenge. He's been crisp on the ball, crisp in his distribution. He's found players in good pockets of space. I think thus far it's been a performance that Paulo Nagamura will be proud of from the young 17-year-old.
Well, he's had just 2 appearances on the season. His first was back on July 20th in Ottawa, just 7 minutes as a sub, but he came into the starting lineup in the last game in Memphis, played the full 90 on Saturday, and he's back for his 2nd consecutive start to 17-year-old SKC Academy product Tucker Lepley. He's a diminutive figure out there on the pitch, but so good in the tight spaces. There's a full-blooded challenge, and play on, says the referee. In behind there, Eric Dick stretching with the right hand to tip that one away.
Not a bad save there from Eric Dick. This chance came when Renico Clark was unable to win that tackle for SPR, and forward came the Battery. Shot pushed just wide.
Looked like it was Romario Piggott there who got the shot in the end, challenging Eric Dick. Made a good save to his right. Renico Clark still feeling the effects of that challenge right around the halfway line.
Yeah, he got stuck in there right at midfield. Didn't quite win the ball, and I think instead he might have either collided with the extremity of a Charleston player, or we're gonna see it here as Candela gets stuck in. And yeah, Candela just catches Renico Clark with the follow through there. I don't think it's anything malicious by any means, but Renico Clark certainly getting the worst of it there.
Looked like a painful one for 6'4" center back as well, right on the left ankle there. That's where he appears to be holding, but a thumbs up. Jake Brownback, the trainer. And he'll have to go off the pitch as he was tended to Renico Clark. So Swope Park Rangers will have to defend this corner kick down a man and down their tallest player as well.
Svantessen won't be moving very much off this delivery, but obviously someone you want to mark here closely.
And swinger towards the near post, didn't beat the first man. Harris able to clear in his own 6-yard box. And Renico Clark comes sprinting back onto the pitch to help defend for the Rangers as we're in the second phase of this free kick. Now in behind, and a poor touch by Jared Van Shake, and it goes out of play. Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce that the Championship and League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on ESPN Family of Networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Alak trying to slide this one in behind for Lindsey. Second ball picked up by Lepley. Harris now holding off a couple of players, but his pass well read in the end by Piggott, who saw that opportunity for Felipe Hernandez and closed it. Now Hernandez picks up the loose change, and it's the Rangers in possession in the attacking half.
Well, I say this now knowing full well that SPR still have more than a half hour to go in this one. This is probably the cleanest I think they have been in possession. Curse to the commentator there as Clark's pass gets intercepted. But by and large, I think through the first hour of this game, they've been pretty clean in possession. 90% completion rate there in the first half.
There's a loose pass picked off by Hernandez, and some quick one-touch passing. Freeman dances around a defender. Tyler Freeman, his shot blocked on the edge of the area.
Sparkling build-up through the middle from the hosts with Tyler Freeman at the center of it. Meggs' defender, left-footed shot blocked.
Some intricate one-touch passing there as well for the Rangers, who quickly turned that turnover into a decent-looking opportunity. Well blocked in the end by Archer. Lepley now, back inside, Ayub Alak. Charleston with many numbers behind the ball here. Rangers will try and break them down. Lepley trying to get that helped back on by Kuzain, who nods it back in the direction of Tucker Lepley. Or foul there on Juan Kuzain, Juan Kamal. Let's track you back on Dante Marini. 27-year-old in his 6th season with Charleston Battery, wins a foul for the visitors along the near side. An hour gone here in Kansas City. Both teams still looking to break the deadlock. And some loose passing along the back by the Battery, but in the end, able to get away with it up until that foul, which goes against Onunga.
It's a good step up there from Renico Clark to win that foul and give the Rangers the ball back. And it has been in these situations where SPR have the ball in the attacking half. Charleston have defended fairly deep, made it hard for SPR to split the lines with any incisive passes through the middle or out wide. They have done so on a few occasions.
Brad finds his center back partner Clark. Now Alak has dropped in between the two center backs. They've split wide here. Lepley just tripping over the boots there of Van Schaik as he was trying to run in behind. And a frustrated sigh there from Tucker Lepley. Thought he might have a run on the left back for the Charleston Battery.
30 minutes to go on this one, and I would expect Charleston to really try to take more of an attacking initiative in this one. Well, they've got a very busy stretch of games coming up, and this is the first of a three-game three-game road swing for them. They're at Pittsburgh on Saturday and then at Atlanta United 2 next Wednesday, so the games are coming thick and fast. Plenty of travel required of Mike Anheuser's side, but I think if you're Charleston and you look at this game on paper, this is a game that you will feel like you need to get maximum points on.
Still have not been able to break this Swope Park Rangers defense, which, as we talked about in the first half, has had its struggles over the past couple of months, but has looked pretty solid here this evening.
Largely because they've been doing a lot of this. And simple logic, when you have the ball and the opponent doesn't, it makes it awfully hard for them to do anything of real threat.
Looks like Charleston will be getting set to make a change here after an hour gone. Try and shuffle things around. As it looks like Arthur Basua will prepare to check in the game for Mike Anheuser and company, but for the meantime, players on the field have some defending to do as the Rangers have strung a few passes together. This is a fortunate bounce into the feet of Alak, who's dribbling along the edge of the area and just caught between two minds there. Ayub Alak, he had some options, and now white shirts streaming forward. That pass from Kelly asking a whole lot of his teammate Marini. There's a poor giveaway. Svantesson dancing around one into the area. Svantesson looking for the near post. And it's adjudged to have taken a tip off of Eric Dick's hands, and it'll be out for another corner kick for the visitors.
This is the second time we've seen Svantesson surge into the box. Showing a bit of elusive quickness here. The 6'6" forward, and Eric Dick had to be sure as he gets a touch at the near post.
Just covering his near post there, but it's another corner kick to defend. And this time, Vincenzo Candela will come over to take. Raises one hand into the sky, delivers towards the near post. Lindsey heads it up into the area. And Alexander just trying to duck in between two white shirts there. Gets a little bit of contact with it, deflects it out for another corner. Looked like he couldn't quite get a good purchase on that ball as he was jostling with two defenders, Alexander, so taking no chances. But it's another corner kick for SPR to defend. Dante Marini going over to take this with his left foot. He does have Romario Pickett accompanying him. Marini in towards the 6. Strong header there from Rad. Still alive though for the Battery. There's a curling effort and high and wide of the goal. That was Anunga looking to strike, and that will allow for the first substitution of the game. And it's been a bit of a frustrating evening for Ian Svantesson. We saw him create a little bit here in the second half, but just 14 touches in the first half for the big target forward, and he is replaced here after 64.5 minutes by Arthur Basua.
Svantesson had his best moments of the game there in the second half, to be sure. But now Basua coming in, 3 goals to his name this season. He makes his 14th appearance on the year. Be interesting to see if he is able to flip the script here for a Charleston side that has, by and large, struggled to threaten Eric Dick between the posts.
There's some good work by Lepley, who read that situation and and stepped in front of the header from Leland Archer. Cross coming in from Alexander, looking for Harris. It's behind him. And Alec trying to foul there, was unable to. There's a nice first touch from Piggott away from danger. He can invite Angelo Kelly into the attack on the right side. Kelly now, edge of the area. Step over, Angelo Kelly pokes it with the right foot. And fingertips again, Eric Dick. With a challenging effort from Angelo Kelly, and he keeps him at bay.
A sparkling run from Angelo Kelly, and it prompts Eric Dick into his best save of the evening as he gets his right glove to it by the slimmest of margins to push it wide. Big stop there from Big Eric Dick.
Another corner here. They're starting to mount for the visitors in the second half. Candela will come over to take this one, again from the near side. Delivery to the edge of the box, headed back into the mixer. Missed by a couple of Rangers, and now left-footed strike. Just wide of Eric Dick's near post. Romario Piggott can't get that one on frame.
Charleston really starting to knock on the door now, as I believe it is Kelly who heads this one back across the face of goal. Shot falls rather invitingly to Piggott, but tough angle on his left foot, always going wide.
Lindsey there, stopped by the challenge of Van Schaik. Now Van Schaik trying to see off the challenge of Lepley, does well to get this up into attack. Here comes Basua, tackled away. Arthur Basua was actually injured and subbed off in the first meeting between these two teams, excuse me, back on June 22nd. Played 4 years at Columbia University. Well read there and intercepted by Hernandez. Slipped forward for Harris, just beyond his outstretched right boot. Freeman and Harris cannot quite connect there after, again, wonderful pressing play from Hernandez. Oh, that was really close to a quick counterattack by the home side. Harris just under 6 feet, stretching those long legs, but couldn't quite get there. Lindsey under pressure over to Clark. Good to see Jalen Lindsey making his 7th appearance on the season for the Swope Park Rangers after we talked about that knee injury he sustained at the early portion of the season. Did start in the first game of the season for the Swope Park Rangers before being sidelined with the knee and then a broken wrist as well. And there is a quick turn by Kuzain and a tug back by Anunga, spotted by the referee. There's a foul on Anunga. And this stoppage in play allows for the first substitution for Paulo Nagamura, as it is the end of the shift for Tyler Freeman. He's replaced by Ethan Vanacore-Decker.
Well, I think it's largely been a good shift for Tyler Freeman, especially when SPR have not had the ball. He's been a workhorse up and down the wing, putting in his defensive shifts. The wingers in this system have that responsibility. I think all in all, Freeman was good on the ball. And now in comes Ethan Vanacore-Decker, a bit more experience for him, 24-year-old, and a player who has kind of yo-yoed between being a substitute and a starter this season under Paulo Nagamura.
13 starts coming into this one. This will be his 10th sub appearance. Ethan Vanacore-Decker does have 3 goals coming in off the bench. Pop up with a super sub performance here. Here he is getting his first touch after coming on for Freeman. Eric Dick under pressure, lofting it up for Harris, who was in an offside position. Laid back for Leland Archer. Now wide right with Angelo Kelly, who has a new winger to deal with, and he didn't like how he was dealt with there, but it's won away by Ethan Vanacore-Decker. Clark now under pressure from Basua. Eric Dick this time picks out a good pass for Kuzain. Kuzain just seeing the lurking Higashi there. This ball is popped free. Basua streaking in between the two center backs, tries to slot this one, and harmlessly rolls into the grateful hands of Eric Dick.
Yeah, it looked like a window of opportunity had opened for Basua, but he closed quickly, and there was really so much he could do there, so he pulls the trigger from 25 yards. Routine stuff for Eric Dick.
Back now on the left-hand side, Alexander looking for Hernandez. Well defended. How to play for a throw. Harris finds a good pocket of space. His pass deflected. It'll be another throw here for the Rangers in quick succession. Harris again shows. Makes himself available for Alexander. He knew he wanted to go to his left foot there. Good scouting by Piggott as he's able to defend this one.
Face it, face it. 85, pitch. Guitar, 98.
Easier said than done. You know he's going to the left, but usually he's able to get past players despite that knowledge. Alexander.
Such is the trait of so many of those vintage left-footed players who, you know, are so one-side dominant, but even so tough to stop. For me, one of the first players always coming to mind, Preki, one of the Sporting Kansas City greats.
Preki chop. Patented move. There's good defensive play. Now Alak has sprayed it forward into the path of Felipe Hernandez, who's streaking into the penalty area. Hernandez looking for a pass, he'll pick one out. Lepley now on the near side. Got the overlap from Lindsey. Back now with Lepley. Just enough white shirts have been able to clamber back into the penalty area and help defend. The Rangers still do keep possession.
Slightest hesitation there for SPR going forward allows Charleston to get back into position.
What a lovely slide pass in behind, and whoa, that's a great intervention there. Van Schaik, when it looked like Lepley would pounce onto that one with an empty net begging.
An absolutely massive intervention there, and again, who else? Felipe Hernandez opening up the Charleston defense with a brilliant through ball. Vanacore-Decker's cutback nearly finds the 17-year-old Lepley, but as you mentioned, Carter, Van Schaik with a huge cutoff there.
It'll be a corner kick now for the Rangers. Kuzain takes a short with Hernandez. Edge of the box. His pass intercepted. Really smart play there by Anunga. Now he's trying to get forward, Anunga. And it's a foul away from the ball. No, it's the one on the ball that's getting called. It's Jalen Lindsey going into the referee's pocketbook with a bemused look on his face. Yellow card for the young right back for the challenge on top Ryan Anunga. Take another look at this counterattack from Charleston Battery. Yellow card there for Jalen Lindsey for his parts in that. And with this stoppage, there's been a sub by both teams as Mark Segbers checks in for Tucker Lepley. And this is a good sign if you're a Charleston Battery fan. It's an attacking move as their leading goal scorer, Zico Lewis, will check in for Kotaro Higashi. So both coaches making changes here in the 75th minute. Floated up into the box. Header blocked away. Alak now tries to clear. It's a decent header towards the edge of the area. Mueller battling with a couple of blue shirts, and he comes away with it. For the low cross right into the feet of Alak, and he picks a good out ball as well. Harris now inviting Vanacore Decker forward, and it's played off of Decker by a sliding Vincenzo Candela.
Well, I think the introduction of Mark Segbers for SPR and Zico Lewis for Charleston makes this game all the more interesting, adds another complexion of intrigue. Zico Lewis, obviously the leading scorer for Charleston this season with 6 goals to his name to go with 3 assists. Also their top chance creator. You could very well argue their best attacking player coming off the bench tonight. And then on the opposite side, Mark Segbers played at right back for SPR throughout the season, but getting a look up top on the wing for Paulo Nagamura, having done so in a few recent matches as well.
Trying to expand his role here with the Swope Park Rangers. Mark Segbers, of course, a glittering college career with the Wisconsin Badgers. Now Clark under pressure, forward for Alexander. And Ethan Vanacore Decker has been our willing runner since he's come on as a sub. Here he is running at Mueller inside the area. Vanacore Decker looking for the cutback. It's headed away just in the nick of time by Leland Archer.
It's really good from Vanacore Decker. He gets the better of Taylor Mueller there. The cutback just unable to find its recipient as Leland Archer intervenes crucially. Another ball whipped in there.
Alexander looking for Harris, who had peeled off the back of Mueller, but Mueller able to leap and get in the path of that cross from the left-hand side. The Rangers now with a good spell here. We're into the final 13 minutes plus added time. Both teams looking for a late goal in this one.
I think both teams capable of that late goal. Just have to question from which source it will come.
You gotta move, Zico, help. Look for it, come on.
Hernandez, perhaps who you put your money on. He's found a good pass for Alexander, cuts it back to the penalty spot. It bounces off a couple of players and allows Kuzminski to scramble over and prevent that from going out for a corner kick.
Well, again, the incision from Felipe Hernandez is absolutely brilliant here. Laser-like work, and yet again, it's just that final ball unable to connect with its intended target. Alexander there almost finding Kuzain, late arriving in the box.
Referee spotting a little shove in the back from Renico Clark. Arthur Basua getting up gingerly from that challenge, and it'll be a foul and a free kick for Charleston. Over now with Angelo Kelly, the pride of Ottumwa, Iowa, the Ottumwa Bulldogs. Now inside comes the sub. And nothing given there by the referee. No harm, no foul, as the Rangers trying to move from defense to attack quickly. Hernandez charging into the area. Instead, Vanacore Decker switches it to Segbers. Shifts it to his left foot and draws a foul in a really tantalizing position.
Segbers does quite well to bring this ball down and win SPR. A free kick here. What will be a very advantageous spot. All he has to do there is get to the ball first, and he does just that. And now, a few SPR players standing over this one. Have to think Juan Kuzain might want to try his luck with that left peg of his.
Scored a trio of free kick goals last season, including the USL Championship goal of the season from a pretty similar position to this. And perhaps Felipe Hernandez will be interested as well. Two very capable free kick specialists over the ball for the Swope Park Rangers. Who will take? Referee now getting upset at where the wall is being set up.
Down it, ref! Ref, whistle! Ref, whistle! Ref, whistle! Together, tight!
taking a while to get this wall set up. Renico Clark pointing out that the players aren't behind the line. The ref blows his whistle anyways. It's Kuzain. Oh, that was knuckling right at the goalkeeper, who just put his 2 mitts up almost in self-protection there. Kuzminski with a good save to keep out the free kick from Juan Kuzain. Hernandez looking for Renico Clark. He's able to track this one down. And the challenge now is how to play for a throw for the Rangers.
Well, I'm not sure you can strike this any cleaner if you're Juan Kuzain. Unfortunately, it just lacks the direction to beat Kuzminski, who can only palm it away. And he'll be relieved that that ball was not destined for one of the corners, as the battery keeper surely would have been beaten.
Kuz on Kuz crime there. And it goes out of play now. Off the throw, it'll be a throw-in. Excuse me, a corner kick for Swope Park Rangers. And Kuzain, after that free kick, will come over to assess this corner kick. He's joined by Felipe Hernandez. Center backs up in the penalty area for the Rangers. Kuzain towards the 6. And 50-50 challenge there, and the foul goes against Wilson Harris. Quickly taken by Kuzminski, looking for Zico Lewis, who's trying to get in behind, but the pace of Mark Segbers and reading the situation, able to snuff out the danger there. Game perhaps starting to open up here in the final 8 minutes plus added time. Well, fans, the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. Just over 7 minutes to play here. Can one of these teams find what would possibly be a late winner? As this header falls into the path of Vanacore Decker. He's got the overlap from Hernandez charging into the area. Hernandez squaring it across goal. It's still alive. Kuzain, what a block that is. Leland Archer laying out to get in the way of Kuzain right at the 6-yard box. Perhaps the biggest play of the game so far.
Hands on your heads if you're the Swope Park Rangers right now, as Vanacore Decker tees up the overlapping Hernandez. A brilliant ball across the face of goal. It just needs a touch, but it doesn't get it. And how many times have we said the name of Leland Archer? His interventions. Last-ditch defending for the battery. Bailed out again by their big number 5.
What a block challenge that is on the slide. Leland Archer, Trinidad and Tobago Youth International. And that is a heroic intervention when it looked like Kuzain was about to tap that one into the net.
Now that intervention comes after the biggest chance for SPR goes begging. An agonizing sequence there for the hosts, who really feel like they should probably be ahead right now.
Just inches away from Wilson Harris there, Hernandez. Now he's started another Rangers attack. Segbers has it picked off his toe there by Van Schaik. And then Rad able to read the situation, cuts it inside. Kuzain, that pass under hit, well intercepted by Kelly. Here comes Angelo Kelly, right back trying to cut infield. His pass deflected away, but Anunga had dropped into covering position and picks up the pieces, keeping the attack alive for the battery. Good pass inside for Lewis. I'll pick it back now with Candela. And Angelo Kelly. Battery Battery just slowing things down here. We've got 5 minutes plus added time in this second half. Sliding it in behind now, Piggott into the area. Can he get there? Just about keeps it alive, and then Rad, his clearance blocked by Basua. Out of play for a goal kick.
There's the ball through there from Anunga that created that opportunity. Now Killian Columbi entering the game for the Rangers in place of Wilson Harris, who's been active up top. Came awfully close to scoring in the first half, just the first few minutes of the game even. And for Charleston, Mario Piggott, the man we had our eye on from the get-go, Carter. Exiting the match, and on comes Nico Rittmeyer.
Another College of Charleston grad on the field to join Leland Archer. And pressure here. High up the pitch. Alak can't quite get this one away. Could this be a chance for Charleston? Toe poke! Oh, off the post! Candela almost toe poking Charleston Battery into 9th place there.
A game of inches, Carter. And here we see why, as Candela gets an opening at the top of the box off an SPR giveaway. Clatters off the woodwork. And if you're SPR, you'd absolutely be devastated for as solid as you've played throughout the course of the game. To fall behind on a giveaway like that is... We see the official not blow his whistle initially.
We played advantage there, did the official, Brad Jensen. Advantage didn't come to anything for Swope Park Rangers, and it's a yellow card for the captain, Taylor Mueller, and that's a big yellow card for this Charleston Battery team. It means Taylor Mueller will be suspended in the next game through yellow card accumulation, as they will continue this road swing at the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and they'll be without their captain in the back. You can see, I think he knows it, as he's a bit upset.
You can certainly see the disappointment on his face. He's been all right tonight, Taylor Mueller. He's been a bit slow in a few of his one-on-ones against the likes of Hernandez. And
here comes Hernandez, getting the ball from Columbi. Faking the overlap, trying to create space for a shot. Hernandez might have taken a deflection. Bounces up off the chest of Kuzminski. Boy, Hernandez has been all over the pitch here for the Rangers. Another close call. Joe Kuzminski coming to the aid of this Charleston Battery team. There's a wonderful pass in behind from Lewis, but covering nicely comes over Kave Rad.
Yeah, big time there from Kave Rad. I think he might have been the defender who kept Basua onside there, but he recovers very, very nicely, pokes clear.
Back now with Zico Lewis. Slotting it. And now we're making the run in behind the box. He gets past the outstretched arms of Eric Dick, but he was offside there. Zico Lewis is trying to exchange passes with Brian Anunga. Well, folks, tune in to ESPN3 on September 18th at 7 p.m. Central Time for a potential Eastern Conference playoff preview. One of the league's top defenses, St. Louis FC, welcomes high-powered New York Red Bulls 2 to the Lou. See it all September 18th at 7 p.m. Central during Wednesday Night Soccer on ESPN3. Well, we've got some wonderful Wednesday Night Soccer here in Kansas City. Into the final minute of regulation. Will one of these teams find a late goal here, and surely all 3 points at this stage? Lindsey there is shielding that one away. It's kept in play, but Alak will smash it past the halfway line. Hearing there will be 3 minutes of added time here as we are into the final 30 seconds of regular time. Anunga, wide left, poked into the danger area by Rittmeyer, and Alexander has to come over and clear that one away for SPR. Kept in now by Charleston. Over to the left-hand side, Anunga. He's made an impact on this game.
Swing it, swing it.
Van Shake. Back now with Archer, who will switch the point of attack with Mueller. Trying to pop this one in behind. Eric Dick is there, and it's offside on Arthur Basua. He does not like the call from the far side assistant. We are into those 3 minutes of added time now.
Well, Carter, for extended periods, this second half has been open. It has been breathless. And if you'd have told me at minute 45 that here 45 minutes later we'd still be scoreless, I simply would not believe you, but that is the case we have right now.
Popped in behind for Basua. Trying to get his foot on that. Looked like he might have scraped the thigh there of Jalen Lindsey. Painful one for the right back, who's still down for SPR on the edge of his penalty area. Goes all the way back to Kuzminski under the pressure of Vanacore Decker. Lindsey still picking himself up.
Get at him. Go in the middle. Get at him.
And Rittmeyer now charging forward.
Nobody there.
Nunga in now for Lewis. Picks a good pass to the left-hand side. Left-footed cross in towards the edge of the 6. Oh, that is a massive collision between these two guys. You hope that they're both okay. Referee will just blow his whistle there as the 6'3", 200-pound Basua clattering into the 6'5", 205 Eric Dick here.
Carter, this is an NFL Sunday type of collision right here. Eric Dick gets straight up. Basua feels the effects of that one for a bit, but also quick to get up on his feet. We could hear that one from up here.
Good to see that both of those guys will walk away from that one. As you mentioned, we could hear the collision all the way up in the booth here at Children's Mercy Park. We're well into those 3 minutes of added time here. Good flicked header from Vanacore Decker. Mueller didn't like it. He's got some defending to do now. Slide it in behind for Vanacore Decker, but he can't quite get onto the end of the attempt there from Killian Columbi. Anunga now trying to stride forward. We didn't hear the footsteps of Segbers, who wins it back for the Rangers. Hernandez with Columbi now. Cutting inside, back outside. Hernandez sizing up his options, finds Alexander. No, he doesn't. Just can't trap that one, the Brazilian. And that's a smart pass from Lewis, who's found a teammate in space on the right-hand side. It's Marini. The pass invited a tackle, but Van Schaik able to get there ahead of the defender. Lewis now looking for the far post, but Lindsey had his positioning spot on there. It's a shanked clearance by Vanacore Decker. And they'll drift in behind here for Eric Dick, as this one looks like it may just be about over at 0-0. Center circle. Referee with the whistle to his lips. We'll let this one play on. Near side with Rittmeyer. Perhaps the last chance of the game for Charleston. In towards the penalty spot. Still loose for Basua. And Eric Dick sprawls to his right to save that one. And it's the last kick of the game as we end scoreless here. The points split between Charleston Battery and the Swope Park Rangers.
And both teams will leave the field with an air of disappointment. SPR because they had more chances, because they had clean looks, none of which found the back of the net. Charleston, I think, will be disappointed in their own right, having created a few looks themselves, but also for the fact that they've been unable to beat an SPR team that came into the night with a 7-game losing streak. But credit to Paulo Nagamura's side, they have fought valiantly this evening. And for Charleston, that playoff push rolls onward as they travel further east to Pittsburgh on Saturday to host, or to visit the Riverhounds. SPR back home on Saturday as well to host North Carolina FC.
Well, the point for Charleston will take them ahead of St. Louis FC for the time being. Excuse me, it pulls them level with St. Louis FC on points. Meanwhile, for the Swope Park Rangers, It is their first clean sheet since June 8th against Charlotte. Wonderful defensive effort here from the home side. 0-0 the final score. Stick with us. We'll be right back for all the final stats and highlights from this Eastern Conference encounter. Welcome back, full time here in Kansas City as Swope Park Rangers and Charleston Battery play out a 0-0 draw, a point apiece for each of these teams as they split the season series with 2 draws, 1 in each of their respective stadiums. Let's take a look at the final stats from this 0-0 game between the Swope Park Rangers and the Charleston Battery, as it perhaps was the most complete performance in some time for the Swope Park Rangers, stifling the Charleston Battery in their attempt to move up to 9th place in the Eastern Conference.
Certainly so. I think if you're SPR, you have to feel good about the defensive performance, limiting Charleston to just a single shot attempt in the first half, and then the visitors obviously gained a gradual foothold in the second half. I think Mike Anheuser can feel better about the way his team played over the final 45 minutes. All in all, I think at the end of the day, probably a fair result.
0-0 here, the final between the Swope Park Rangers and Charleston Battery. SPR back here on Saturday at home against North Carolina FC. Meanwhile, Charleston Battery will head on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. For producer Jordan Burrell, director TD Dan McCaffrey, A1 Aaron Clark, A2 Andy Woods, our 3-play op Jason Briley, B1 John Walston. Oh, we've got a spectacular camera crew: Wyatt Craven, Keith McGuire, Paul Stokes, and Joey Reed. Graphics wizard Caleb Manning, EIC Brad Zimmerman. And for Sam Cobson in the booth, I'm Carter Augustine. Thanks for watching this evening. Final score: Swope Park Rangers 0, Charleston Battery 0.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.